Alright, what's up everybody? This is Look Deeper 1317. So I'd like to make this video today about a preacher, teacher who recently made a video that is labeled Flat Earth or Round. And his name is Rodney Beaulieu. He is from Grace Bible Community Church. Now, before I say anything, I would like to say that Rodney Beaulieu is a very, very good Bible teacher. He will teach you how to rightly divide the word of truth. 2 Timothy 2:15. And the gospel that saves is the most important thing that we can know today. That is number one on the list. I would 100% agree. And he has a very good church called Grace Bible Community Church. You can find online or on YouTube that I've watched for over a year now. And Rodney seems to be a very articulate, very wise person. I have a lot of respect for Rodney. For one, because he's not afraid to go against the grain, as is all of us right dividers must have that courage to step out and tell the world of Christianity that you've been taught wrong from America your entire life on the Bible, because they haven't been taught to rightly divide the Bible. And I will say that Rodney seems like he is a very passionate man in what he believes. And I mean, I respect the guy. So this video is not to dispute Rodney, because he hasn't said anything wrong on the topic at all. Rodney Beaulieu has not said, in fact, Rodney, I mean, he's great. But I would like to add a couple things. So I'd like to show you what verse he used. And this is an incredible verse. This is a very powerful verse that he used to show people who believe that the earth is flat compared to the people who believe the earth is round. And the majority of those people, they do fight like cats and dogs. And it's really, he made a good point that it can take people's thoughts otherwise, something to that, rather than to the gospel of Jesus Christ that saves us, which is the most important thing. However, one thing I would like to add is that there are those of us like me out here who are not involved in these dog and cat fights. Maybe at first I would get into a few, but I've really quickly realized what Rodney said. I realized it a long time ago, but he said it this past Sunday, and is that there's no point in that. That it's in that sense, it can be a total distraction from the gospel, getting people saved. What matters, because I agree with that. Flat Earth and round Earth people, yeah, it's pretty divisive. However, we have to look at this from all angles. So before I go on with any of that, this is the verse that he used that I thought was very wise. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. And that is just, for this debate that's been going on for years, that is just a really strong verse that could potentially, if we only took that one verse, that could potentially shut both sides out, right? But this is what I would like to add to that, is that we have to take the full counsel of God, right? And I emailed Rodney some of my thoughts on this too. And this is that if God just wanted us to go by this verse alone, and put the blinders on and pretend like we can't see anything, then he wouldn't have put the rest of the verses that people are looking at to prove heliocentricity has nothing to do with the Bible. See? So we have to take the full counsel of God, not just one verse. This is true. Nobody is ever going to figure out everything about creation. Probably not even that close to everything about creation, okay? We're just grasshoppers that God is looking down upon, right? Although there are many verses in the Bible that show us that NASA and the heliocentric model are lies. And Rodney does address this. Absolutely does. Rodney, that's another reason why I respect him so much. He calls out NASA. He calls out NASA that they're lying to us. He calls them out for CGI, which is computer generated images, which has been proven true. He calls them out for saying that they know what exists on the other side of the outer space and universe and stuff like this. And there is so much more to call NASA out on. But Rodney does. He touches base on stuff like that. And that was awesome. That pumped me up when I talked to him. But I think, in my opinion, this is just my personal opinion, okay? I've been into flat earth and biblical creation for over a year. I've been listening to Rodney for about over a year. And when I found out about rightly dividing the Bible, then I started looking up right dividers on YouTube, and his church popped up. So that's how I found him. And so I think that today, the God that people worship, not Christians so much, but Christians are kind of caught in the middle of this, but the unbelieving world, which is the majority, their God is science. Science falsely so-called. See, we know it's science falsely so-called, but they say it's science. And they're referring to, NASA and outer space and all these galaxies and stuff like this. And a round ball Earth flying through space, spinning around a megalithic sun, flying through outer space at hundreds of thousands of miles an hour, chasing the sun. And to say, and I'm not saying that Rodney does this, because Rodney doesn't do this. He doesn't just push it off all to the side and say, who cares? I see where Rodney's coming from. He's saying, look, to go to the point where this is creating such damage between believers, that's wrong. And I agree. But on another level, though, it does matter, because all truth matters, right? All biblical truth matters. And all truth belongs to God. So if we're walking around with the Holy Spirit in us, and we're saved, that's how you get the Holy Spirit in you, then you want to know the truth. And there are many, many Bible verses. For instance, in 2 Chronicles or 1 Chronicles, it says that the earth is immovable. That's not a ball flying through space chasing the sun. Another one that I've done a video on is Joshua's long day, where it said that God stopped the sun and the moon from moving. And if you just draw a diagram on of the heliocentric model, that would make absolutely no sense at all. Because on the heliocentric model that we've been taught, the Earth is flying through space also. So everything's flying through space, and if just the sun and the moon stopped, the Earth would fly away. And also it would cause this so-called gravity, which I don't believe exists, to, it would pull away and it wouldn't work. Now, the way that Joshua's long day would work, that if there was a stable Earth, and the sun and the moon are moving up top like this, and they stop, that would make complete sense. It wouldn't harm anything, right? Everything would make sense. So these are just a couple things to bring up, and the fact that outer space. Now, whether the Earth is flat or round, I mean, it's testable. These things are testable. I'm not saying we could test and find out everything. I agree with the Bible, Ecclesiastes chapter 3. What is that, verse 11? I agree. We're never going to find out everything, and we're not meant to find out everything. But God did leave us Bible verses, and there is real scientific technology out here that we can use in a very simple basis to find out that the Earth is not moving and that it's flat, and that what they've told us is bogus. I mean, a test that the Earth is flat is so simple, anybody can do it. Go out to the ocean, find an island maybe 80 miles away, and look at it. You're not supposed to be able to see that island if the Earth had a curvature, according to the Pythagorean theorem, of 8 inches per mile squared. According to what they've told us, that island about 80 miles away is supposed to be like under a mile of curve. So they're supposed to be from here to there over a mile of curvature downward. So you're not even supposed to see the island. Let alone the fact that that water always sits level. Who's seen water set on a spinning ball flying at hundreds of thousands of miles per hour through space? It's ridiculous when you think about it. It's so ridiculous. And why does it matter? Now let me address why this matters to me, the way that I see it. Is because if a person has been told their whole life, or hasn't been told their whole life, anything about the Bible or Jesus, or they've been told that the Bible is all fairy tales, then you show them these scientific facts about the lies that they've been telling us, and then you say, look, it's in the Bible. And so then somebody goes, the light clicks on and goes, oh, I'll take a look at the Bible now. Oh, wow, the Bible has scientific fact in it. And then they can see, look, the Bible is not all fairy tales. And it does have scientific truth to it. Not everything. Okay, God didn't tell us everything. But it has some science in there. And then they find the gospel of Jesus Christ and they say, then it leads them to that. You see, that's the way I see it. All truth matters. Let me rephrase. All biblical truth matters. All of it. Because all truth belongs to God. God is the way, He is the truth, and He is the life, right? And so that's where I stand. One last thing. For those of us who have been in this for a while here, we can see the bigger picture here, why they're doing this. That's the whole reason. Not only to hide God's creation, okay, and then in turn make the Bible look like a fairy tale, and then in turn hiding the gospel of Jesus Christ, 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verses 1 through 4. Not only that, but this is also going towards the coming deception, the coming lie that the Apostle Paul talks about in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. He speaks about that God sends them strong delusion so that they would believe a lie, a single lie. So if you fake outer space, all this, because the flat earth, us biblical flat earth creationists, we believe that there's a firmament or dome like the Truman Show, and then above that you have the waters, and then above that you have the heavens, the eternal realm. Well, if you say that that's all just outer space and millions and billions and trillions of miles of nothingness, and you say that there's stars and galaxies and suns and and all this stuff, then that's the strong delusion part of it. The lie is going to be the whole way that they're going to bring in the Antichrist. They're going to say that they're going to use the alien theory, the alien deception. And you have to have outer space. You have to have millions and billions and trillions of miles and all this stuff out there of nothingness, and the Big Bang Theory and evolution to use the alien deception lie. And that's how the world will accept all this. See? That's looking at it, the whole bigger picture, why it matters. And I'm not saying that Rodney says it doesn't matter, because he has addressed this. I would like to see Rodney go into why. We have to ask why they're lying to us. NASA, this whole organization, why they would create such a huge lie like outer space and a ball spinning hundreds of thousands of miles an hour with to chase a humongous sun. Why would they lie? That's the thing. You see, and once you figure out why they're lying, which is to make us look like a speck in the middle of nowhere, that we are insignificant and we mean nothing, and that all there is outer space up there. That's why, is to discredit the Bible and God, that there even is one, which would in turn lead people away from the gospel of Christ, and to bring in their Antichrist God, which would be aliens. You see, that's why this matters so much to me. And I know that there's some people out there who know exactly where I'm coming from. And for the people out there, like Rodney says, who cut each other's throats for flat earth against round earth, that is not the way to do it at all. However, it still does matter. So thank you, Rodney Beaulieu, for addressing many subjects that you address, and your great right division. And all this video is to add my personal thoughts on this journey that I've been on for 3 to 4 years now. So thank you for all your sermons, and hope God continues to bless you with the understanding in all things, like Paul says, right?